Welcome, my friends. This is Maniacal Incorporated. I've just left the tent of the High King, Ead, and the King of Munster, Donnacha Mucht of Dóibéireann, as they pore over maps and try to come up with some strategy for dealing with the Viking attempts to retake the Isle of Man. The High King is mad, so it's rather awkward dealing with him. Historically, Ead was the High King of Ireland until 879, so he would actually, historically, he would be gone by now. And of course, the High Kingship hasn't been formed in the game, but I'm treating him as the High King, especially as he is the High Chieftain of Meath, effectively the King of Tara. We have 3,900 Vikings invading to take the Isle of Man. We have 1,700 troops on our side, of which 1,100 are ours. 1,100 are from Munster. I have enough money to get another 700 mercenaries, which puts us well short of being able to combat the Vikings. Now, Ead does have other alliances. He has an alliance to Tir Connell, but they have a 404 error with their army at the moment. And he also has allies. I shouldn't say allies, they're his vassals. If I can actually get them to pop up, I might need to zoom in. So here is the chiefess of Meath that conquered the Isle of Man. So between them, that's another 900. We're approaching something that could take on the Vikings at that stage. It's not looking great. You might remember in the last episode, it was revealed that there was a spate of assassination attempts against members of my court. One of them was carried out against Corcoran, a member of the family and one of my best performing knights. In a fit of paranoia, the King of Munster took a new wife, Larthorn, a daughter of the deposed chieftain of the Vonia. She's a schemer, and she has already assisted our spymaster in uncovering who is behind the plot to kill our wife. And it was Petronelia, a bold villain, the abhorrent fiend. So I think what we're going to do is... we can't because of our laws. I was going to say we would try and imprison her, but it looks like maybe she's able to get away for now. Maybe she is, or maybe she isn't. We'll deal with that in a minute. We're a bit preoccupied. And just after dismissing that notification about we've unveiled who it is that's trying to kill our wife that's quickly falling out of favour, Bardov. Her father controlled the Dal Naradí, and they've been deposed as well, so that alliance is gone. And we see our allies, our allies are falling across into the Isle of Man to defend it, and here comes the Viking invasion that we have been fearing. We're a good bit back. And possibly now would be an opportunity to hire some mercenaries. I don't know if we can get up in time, though. Let's commit everything that we can. They're the cheapest option. We'll go with Madman's Company. Bringing in light footmen, 700 light footmen. Not going forest, hills and jungles. Pikemen. What are the jungles of the Isle of Man like? We'll go for the bodyguard of Gwendolyn. It's an extra 50 quid, but you know what? We'll hire them. And we now have 1,800 soldiers. Again, if we were all in the same place, we would just about have enough. I don't think it's going to work out for us. Our son and current heir, Crundmoil, comes of age. We trained him in the way of intrigue. He's not great. He's not great. Bless him. But sure, they grow up so fast. It would have been fantastic if we could have caught this this other army before it went out to sea. We haven't been able to. They're heading out to sea again. Now, if we can keep our armies on this side and try to catch one of them. Now, they have vastly more forces than we have. That's the only major problem, to say the very least. Why Aed doesn't bring in more reinforcements or more allies, I don't know. There's nobody else we can really bring in. The only thing that we could do, and I don't know is it worth it, is to try and maybe get our forces to be waiting for them, but they have double our number. They have exactly double our number. Ah, the devils. I don't know what they're doing. I don't think they know either. Our daughter Sive has come of age. I remember I was educating her as a possible court physician. Her stats aren't too bad. They're fairly even across the board, actually. But I think what I will do is try and organize an alliance with the son and heir of a count in the southeast of France, on the coast, or on the yeah, he's on the coast, and he's also on the border with Italy. He's about as close as we can get in terms of somebody who might come and give us help, and his father has 1,000 troops. So that's going to be, defending against these large invasions is going to be absolutely necessary. I think Meath is coming up to join with us. So we're going to have a combined might of 2,300 to take on 3,800. Our new wife, our spy master, well, she's not our spy master, but she's assisting the spy master, Larthorn, is with child. As we decide, it's a bit of a deja vu here, isn't there? As we decide to mount an invasion of Norway. We can't do anything if we stay here. This region is being sieged down. It's going to be taken quite shortly. We're not going to be able to do anything if we try and go in and attack. So let's see if we can get in behind the back of them and take these two regions. In the excitement of setting sail for Norway, we seem to have forgotten Buokon. I'm going to put another member of the family. He's no direct relation of mine. Condlagon. We will put him in charge of the actual siege of the capital. We're sending our mercenaries in to attack this other region. And our problem is that we're going to see this place siege down quite shortly. And I don't know where they're going to go then. Probably back into Meath. You would do well to move. You would do well to move. Aed, you lunatic, stop watching. Okay. Aed's going to go out into the ocean to fight them. That's okay. I think they know that something's wrong. I think they know that something's wrong. How time flies when you're trying to outsiege the Vikings. Our wife, Larthorn, has given us a daughter, Kosne. May you grow to be strong and wise, my daughter. I've had to make a couple of changes. We weren't going to be able to take on that Viking fleet. And what I've done is I lifted the siege. I've gone out to sea. Somebody is planning to kill a courtier, and I have no idea who they are. They are married to Dovdal Kriach. Considering that they are ill, and Dovdal Kriach has no children, maybe that's not the worst. I lifted the siege. We're now heading for their actual capital. There's about 3 different alliances involved. The problem is that they landed on the Isle of Man while Aed's forces were trying to lift it. It's basically the fact that Aed won't call in any of his other allies. That's what's absolutely destroying us. So we've 500 troops there. Well, it's not destroying us, but it's not helping. And we've 500 troops there, so we have another 1,000 troops. They're now in a position where they can just come over and attack us. So our only hope, I suppose, is go down. See if we can siege the capital. I don't think so. And hope that if they do come to attack us, that they will suffer substantial penalties for disembarking right into the battle. Now that the King of Munster has given up command of the armies, he's having plenty time to spend some time with the wives. I have no idea who this man is, but it's been him that's plotting to kill Dorothea. Whether true or not, I will not accuse him. And he takes off his curtain, and as we can see, again, the Vikings are coming out to see. This is it. This is the entire battle. Just this random back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I don't think it's looking great. I don't think it's looking great. And we're losing substantial troops over here. So unless we can rapidly siege down this area, and I don't think we can, and what we're going to do is we're going to stand and fight. It could be the destruction of the army, but all we can do is do what we can. There you go. They're in on top of us, and it looks like it's going to be a losing battle. Ed, we did our best, you lunatic. We did our best. So Sean maimed somebody at the very least. We're going to have a lengthy retreat. And I'd say we're going to stand down the army because there's nothing we can do. Oh, don't retreat up in that direction. Lads, it's going to be a long walk home. It's going to be a long walk home. And what a way to spend our New Year's Eve. Our army has put out to sea to return to Ireland. We've received news that we are being raided by the Count of Kildare, who has expanded into Evonia and has now set up a sizable territory on our border and could very well push north and take the High Kingship. So we're going to have to land and deal with that. Aed has put together another 305 soldiers. He's going to march them into Man, which is still under Viking control. They're just going to come back and hammer him. So, I don't know. If we look at our defeat, Sean put in mighty work, but he was wounded. So did Ocha and Alban. Condlagon, who was actually in command of the army, who was also in command of the siege. There's Dovliachna, Diarmid. Daemon got in. So Daemon, the new ruler of Loch Lane, after his father died from his wounds, I think in the last episode. So the two of them, equal in prowess, equal in numbers. But yeah, look at what we were relied against. Look at what we were up against. Aed has probably gone off and, I don't know, started buying clothes for his grandkids as opposed to actually doing anything. Here is Aed's daughter Gormla, and she has just given us another child. Dovdalberin is what they're planning to call them. Let's go with something different. Moel Kiron, sure. Strong, wise, etc., etc. And Diarmid has finished increasing control in... He's finished or he can't. God damn it. God damn it, Kildare. It took us ages to get control up, and now they're going to knock it right back down. God damn it. Diarmid, I think we're going to send you to Wales to help. To get the control back to... God damn all of you. So there we can see our forces arrive back in Ireland. We're going to cut off their retreat. We're not going to go in against them right away because we have that disembarking penalty. And they're going to siege down Limnach. We're going to get up into the mountains. I think we're going to have an advantage because they're going to be attacking into the mountains. The fools! And we can see 3,800 troops about to take on Ead's 300. Diarmid has maimed one of their knights. Oh my god, we've also maimed quite an interesting character. Got some money for our efforts, fair play. We maimed an interesting character there. I've seen him wandering around the place. Lorcan. What's so interesting about Lorcan? Lorcan Mac Liachna of the Dalgash, the Bishop of Kildare. Who's he the son of? And the grandson of. So he is a... Oh, I can't remember what this guy's relationship to Brian Brew is. He's... great-great-grandfather? I'm not too sure. I can't actually remember. He has a claim. So I think Pete Noir, you'll see him wandering around in the comment section of some of the videos as Mandate. I think he has set up something so that if Munster is created, the Dalgash get an automatic claim to it. They have a claim to Tuavun, and they have a claim to the chiefdom of Munster. Are we going to be seeing the annihilation? Yeah, this is it. This is the end of the Dalgash line. So there's no Brian Baru. Never mind what I just said. Unless this guy gets married and has some kids. That's the end of the Dalgash house, but possibly he has allied with Kildare in hopes that they will install him as the puppet ruler of Munster. Well, away off with you. Away off with you. In the midst of it all, we've been called into another war. This is our sister's mother-in-law, and she is attacking the neighbours, who quite recently seized Breffni and then had it taken off of them. We'll accept anyway, because I think this might be an easier fight, especially as they have no allies. So we will accept. We can use the money that we just got from that raid to go straight out to sea. The Vikings are going to come in. They have nothing to stop them from sieging down any areas that they need to get their war score up to up another 12%. So I think I don't think we made any contributions in that battle. I don't think we were in a position to do so. Or we made all the contributions. So we could get more contributions by involving ourselves in this Icelandic conquest. I think we might want to actually wait for a couple of minutes just to make sure that Kildare stands down its army. Or we could make sure they stand down their army. No, it's gone. Never mind. God only knows what the ape has been doing with the last couple of years, but it looks like after our expedition in Wales, after Buchan sieged down this area, won the battle for us, either in our excitement or his excitement, he got left behind. And he's currently wandering in this region. Buchan, the hell are you at? Come home. God damn it, come home, man. So he will come home. He probably went wandering. We haven't been able to offer any positions to him. But he's actually better than both Diarmid and Daemon as knights, so he should go back into the knight list. Buchan, what are you at? Again, our spymaster, in cooperation with our wife, has discovered who is behind the plot to kill Dovlachna. It is the wife of our brother, Liaura, the brash fiend. I don't think we can do anything about it, but there you go. Buchan! Where the hell have you been? Now, the interesting thing about Buchan and his little adventure, let's just ignore the fact that the Vikings are about to siege down the capital of the northern Enail anyway. The interesting thing about Buchan is on his journeys, from what I can understand, he found for us a claim to the area that he was in. There was a pop-up for this actually a couple of years ago that I think our diplomat got it or something like that. I like to imagine that Buchon just found this in a marketplace somewhere. Or just found it on the ground or something and doesn't understand what it is. He's brought it back to us and now we have a claim that will allow us to invade this region here. Thanks, Buchon. I think now we're seeing that I wasted a bit too much time going down the theologian route. I could reset it and suffer a bit of a mental break. Now is not a great time to do so. I'm going to go down the scholar route. We're going to go down the scholar route. I should have made more of an effort to get to learn on the job, which is what I wanted. Learn on the job, and what was the other one? I think just scholar itself, I'm not too sure. But, yeah, I think we wasted a bit of time in the theologian tree. So the Icelandic forces have actually arrived in Ireland. They arrived in Leinster and then left straight away. Here is our ally, is heading in to actually siege the region. Entirely possible that there was no need for us to come up. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't think they know either. So we'll set foot in the region anyway. Our mercenary contract is expiring shortly. I don't think we need to worry too much about that. Where have they gone to? They're sailing around. They don't know what they're doing either. Nobody knows what they're doing. Okay. We have a couple of pop-ups all in one go. I beckon my Bishop Cormac to join me in the circle of brass orbs and candles arranged on staves throughout the dark room. The incense cloying the air to ward off the bad vapours makes our eyes tear up in little time. This is how, through the corner of our eyes, we will spot the inscrutable form of angels. However, Cormac soon takes pause. This feels wrong. These are divine beings not meant for mortal eyes to see. Cormac. There's a mad owl relationship forming between the King of Munster, Donnacha, and his Bishop Cormac. The king keeps coming up with more and more bizarre schemes, and Cormac has to talk him out of them. I was going to tell Cormac he could leave if he wants to. We'll gain 50 learning lifestyle. He'll lose 25 opinion with us, but it always comes back up again. He's up to 100 already. He's terrified of us. He likes us because he's afraid. But it could lead down the path of cynicism. So, zealousness might help us with military affairs. A small bit. We'll gain 25 learning experience, and he likes us, but it doesn't make a difference because he's already at full capacity. Now, what I was going to do was I was going to send Buchon in to assist. We should have just stayed in Ireland. What's after happening is Ossory is under siege. I wonder if I could send back the main army and leave Buchon with the mercenaries to assist in the siege. I think that's what I'm going to do. So there, unfortunately, is the pop-up that the conquest of Man has been successful. We have failed to defend it. We did, however, manage to get ourselves some prestige, so that's the most important thing. I forgot to actually divert my main force, so the main force is going to pass by the siege. We're spending a lot of time here. This was rather inefficient. So they're going out to sea. Here's 176 mercenaries under the command of Buchon. He's going to go in. And he's going to make rocks out of ice and throw them at the walls. Do you know what? This siege is going to end in a couple of seconds. It doesn't make a difference, but that's there. Buchon is in. He's helping you. We have our forces, and we will send them back to Ossory and either retake that place. I don't know what's going on in Ireland. Well, it looks clear that we're going to lose Ossory. Our mercenary company has been dismissed, so Buchon is probably left on his own. Well, good luck to you guys getting back from Iceland. Buchon is going to be left on his own up there. They have successfully managed to siege down Ossory. They're probably going out to sea, are they? They are, yeah, that's the worst thing. I don't think we're going to be able to cut them off. But more than likely what's going to happen is they are going to lose. This isn't great now, yeah. But we do want to catch them. Or do we? We probably didn't need to do that, because they're going to lose the siege in Iceland, and then we would have been free to siege down this place. Dovliachna has had his head ripped off. Well, there you go. Dovliachna won't be succeeding us. Victory, but at a cost. I'm unsure if we got anything from that. Allies shared 75 prestige. 75 prestige. That's what Dovliachna's head was worth to us. And we have a mental break in the midst of it all. Munster has now suffered a period of tremendous ill fortune. Our armies were decimated in Denmark. All of our money is gone. Our coffers are nearly empty. We have lost Dovliachna, one of our great warriors. And all of these problems stem back to a single hasty action carried out by the King of Munster, and that was the execution of the daughter-in-law of the chieftain of the Dalfiach. And I think this is weighing on Donnacha's mind. He realizes that he is being punished by God, and to make amends, more than likely what's going to happen is that Donnacha is going to begin venerating this woman as a saint. Most of the saints in Ireland are saints by acclamation, or kind of folk saints or popular saints, like St. Patrick is regarded as a saint because we just kept calling him a saint for long enough that the Vatican was like, fine, whatever, call him a saint, I don't care. He was never canonized or beatified or anything like that. So more than likely, stories will arise about how on this woman's noble and pious death, Donnacha realized his mistake, realized the injustice of the act that he committed. Probably relics of hers will be taken into battle. Relics will be made to kind of maybe house some of her bones or something like that. There are stories of battles being waged in Ireland, and important books or psalters or things like this being taken into battle, being taken around the battlefield by members of the clergy. So that's one thing that we're going to begin to see, is probably a cult of veneration around this woman, as Donnacha attempts to make amends. I think what he's going to do, as we can see, guilt and shame have been plaguing me of late. All of my sins, my flaws, my failings, he's beginning to realize that this is all his fault. All of the ill fortune that has hit Munster of late has been his doing because of that execution. And I think what he's going to do is, what little money we have left, he is going to give to the church and to charity. So this is going to add another penalty. We're generous, which is minus 10% tax income. This is going to give us a minus 15% monthly income. I don't know, is it just tax that that generosity hits? Generous hits everything, I think. Yeah, 10%. So we're now down to 25% monthly income, as far as I know. Donating to charity will make up for my sins. I hope so. And Cuillenon has finished converting our Welsh colony to Insular Christianity, and straight away he will begin introducing the worship, or the cult of that Anglo-Saxon saint. I've no idea how to pronounce her name. And there is poor Dovliachna. He will be more than likely regarded in the annals as Rí Dómhna, royal material, which means that it's a strange title, and there's a lot of debate over what exactly it means. It appears sometimes, and other times it doesn't. It's generally given to people who didn't inherit, but who were of a stature that they could have inherited power. So, Dovliachna, again, he's a scholarly figure, so we could have considered him for the rule. And of course, as the actual, that's rather ironic. He died in 888. Historically, this is the year that Donnacha died and that Dovliachna became the king of Munster. But instead, Dovliachna dies in 888 and Donnacha's rule continues. We might as well try and secure a few more alliances. There's nothing great coming in. Here is a potential alliance between our son, Crundmoil, and the chieftain of Minden. Another area that we had alliances with in the last playthrough. So we will send that proposal. That alliance has been formed. I've made a number of changes over here to what my councillors are doing. We're now increasing development in Loch Lane because it's at 2. Ossory's at a 1, so that's where we're going to need to go to next. Tuavoon has been taken up to 3, so we'll try and get everywhere up to a 3 first of all. And the other thing is that I have my marshal helping with the levy reinforcement rate at the moment, so we're gonna hold back. It's 888. It's probably a bad year for Donnacha to be out doing anything, so we'll bring 888 to an end, and possibly even 889, and then we'll see what we can do with our recovered armies. It is the 1st of July, 889, and I think it is time for a summer campaign. My knights list has undergone a bit of a change. Sean is now joint equal with Oka after losing his eye in one of the previous battles. His son, Ferkar, is of a learning focus, so I've decided to, if Sean is looking to keep his son out of the military life, well, you can't really keep your son out of the military life here. I was going to say, we'll prepare him for the priesthood. That's the same as being a knight. So I have given him, or I have sent him to Cormac Mac Chilinon to educate him in the way of using books as weapons. And we can see that Cormac is back in our knights list after the unfortunate accident that Dovliachna suffered, where his head was ripped off in the last battle. And surely Cormac has been telling us about his difficulties in bringing Insular Christianity to our colony in Wales, and how we need to stamp our authority, and we really do, because we have a lot of hostile powers in the region who could come and try and take this area if we are weakened at any point in time. So, we need money, and to preempt that, what we're going to do is we are going to raise... Local raiders is no good. Let's see. Have I done this wrong? Probably. Raise all here. Raise all here, set them to raiding. We will put them under the command of the man himself. And I think it looks like we have a lot of opportunities in this region. We have arrived in Gwent. We have a substantial army. Now we are going to be suffering attrition penalties, but we're in a position where we could actually stay on the road for quite a while. There are few enough regions that could oppose us, and indeed what I might do is I might do a short raid around the local areas and possibly split the army to try and prevent that attrition penalty, and have them siege 2 places at once. Double the raids, double the fun. So I've just split the armies in half. We've gotten a ransom for the prisoner we took in the last siege. I'm not going to kind of attack two separate areas at once, because if somebody decides to oppose us, we could be in trouble. Somebody else is coming in. Vikings! How rude. Okay, we're going to suffer a bit of a penalty here. Let's see if we can go in this direction. I think we're going to be suffering penalties everywhere. The other thing is I got a notification that I am now over my domain limit, so something has happened either to our own skills or to... it doesn't look like anything's happened to the skills of our Chancellor, or our Steward, who's absolutely terrible. He's a 10, but I've nobody better. We've discovered that our wife is involved in the plot to kill our sister-in-law. Which, do you know what? The vile fiend, well... That's a terrible thing to call our wife. How is that plot going? It's not going anymore, I don't think. I just saw there out of the corner of my eye that somebody was coming down to deal with these raiders. These... Oh, it's absolutely terrible. Lads, all these raiders. Shocking. Shocking. Somebody should do something about them. And look at this. Our alliance with the king has expired. Wales are coming in against us as well. Our alliance with the king has expired. First of all, okay, we'll deal with this first of all. Conlagon. There you go. In honor in honor of our alliance with Ead, who has just passed away from wounds. Okay. May grow to be strong and wise. I thought this was Wales. It's not. They were defeated. So I think we're in a position. I don't think we're going to be able to outmarch them. Let's see if we can get to there. Our alliance is gone. So first thing we will do is tell our wife that we're probably going to divorce her at some point in time. Let's see what the scenario looks like now. Oh, this is going to be interesting. There is a Baba in power. So the Baba, we could be seeing a civil war up there. We could be seeing a civil war or some kind of an argument. Technically, Kovla is now the High Queen of Ireland. So the King of the Northern Enail is dead. Power now transfers to the ruler of the Southern Enail, which at the moment is Kovla. But of course that mechanic isn't represented in the game. It'd be interesting to think about how you would represent a rotating kingship like the King of Tara. I had actually been considering deposing Ead. Ead's insanity, first of all, was a blemish that under Brehon law could have seen him deposed by his tribe, his clan, his Fina, his Tua. It depends. But his lunacy is something that could have actually led to him being removed from power. So I was going to make the argument that that God had punished him with lunacy. His lunacy was weakening the region. The Tir Connell refused to come to his help in the defence of the Isle of Man. Now he's gone, and of course on the death of the Earl of Kildare, we're going to see this place fracture as well. So I don't think we're as pushed. We were beginning to see some powerful blocks forming. Dalfiach and Arghilla had united, Tir Connell and Breffni had united, Kildare has united, but on Gautna's death, we're going to see that splinter, and actually it's going to go to, is this his granddaughter? Nick Kinnitig. Yeah. So he's in, this region is going to, is it going to split, or is it all going to go to her? That's interesting. That's interesting. I can't imagine that we'll get, we'd be able to get a marriage to her. But, the High King of Ireland Eod is dead. Historically, he would have died in 879, and this is what would have brought Flan Senate to power. Back to our raid. Fire and blood. So this is the place, actually, that Buocon was wandering around. And we've somehow been granted a claim on the region. So Buocon he's probably helped us to absolutely raid the place down to the ground. He knows it like the back of his hand somehow. We could capture skilled slaves for Port Loriga. Development progress would increase by 40. We would gain some stress because we are compassionate, and at the moment, that would bring us quite close to going up a level. Bring me bounteous plunder. 30 gold and 75 prestige. We need the money and we need the prestige. Bring me bounteous plunder. Our hook on the captain of the guard that helped Ossory has lifted. We're seeing POWs come in to deal with us. Is this region, does that region belong to them? Oh, it does. Okay, so that's why they're coming in. I might move these guys up into the mountains. And what we're going to do is we're going to see about dealing with this stress problem. For now, we're not going to deal with the stress problem because, of course, we're commanding an army, so we can't. Well, there is one way to deal with the stress problem. Can we get our forces out of here while this raid is going on, or while that battle is going on? Our glory is widely known. Let's see if we can get everybody to up here. And what I might actually do is replace the king with Daemon. So now our two vassals are leading the separate raiding forces, and this will give us an opportunity to hold a feast. Send out the invitations and lose 42 stress. So this is the first feast of our rule. The guests are gathered in the great hall, lords and ladies from near and far reaches of the realm. The mood is bright, the spirits are high as the feast begins. So we probably departed and sailed back home while this raid was going on. Who is this? This is our neighbour in Kildare. My god, what a relationship we have had with this guy. Daemon has managed to convince him to see us in a new light. This is a change for the books. I think the last time that we met, we had a battle here in these mountains. They were sieging down Limnock. They had just sieged Ossory, I think. They went for Limnock, and then we managed to get an army here. And as they were passing through, we battled them. So fair play to Daemon. He's a lunatic. He is an absolute nutcase, but he seems to be doing a good job. What has happened to you? Our wife is wounded. So this is Gormla. Well, maybe I should read the actual notification first of all. Breaking horses. Eating was well underway, the drinking a little too far along, when High Chiefess Gormla decided it was time for some horse riding. My stables were locked up tight, but with guidance from Sive. So is Sive her daughter? Yeah. Gormla soon led a group of eager riders inside. With absolutely no control over my animals, there was swearing, laughter, and broken bones as men and women fell from horses, ambling around the hall. She's awful shook up by her father's death. She's awful shook up. Other creatures in the stables did not get away much easier, and one goat nearly caved in under the weight of High Chiefess Larthorn. So is that High Chiefess Larthorn, or is it... no, that's Scythe. Right. So, one of our wives went... Now, don't be bold. Went riding a goat, and the other's riding a horse around the place. What? Lads. My guests are going home, all in good mood. Good moods, the feast has brought us closer, and we will be able to look back and chuckle at the escapades of Gormla and her drunken band of merrymakers for many years to come. So there is Gormla, she's recovered from her wounds. There is our wife. She's pregnant, and she's been riding a goat. Now. And at the end of all that, we have a lifestyle perk. I think we'll just try and push for learn on the job, so we'll go for open-minded. We'll push for learn on the job, and then we might see about finishing off the theologian tree. I'm not really too pushed. Do you know what? I'm not too pushed. So, Pow's managed to... How rude. I was just trying to explain what's going on. Pow's managed to drive out the Viking invaders. Well, they didn't really. They just left when they'd raided down the church. But now they have returned. Well, they haven't returned, but they're now raiding down Leinster. We're being called in. Surprise, surprise. We're being called in for Minden's conquest of Osnabrück. We'll accept. We will accept. I don't know what we can do. Rather awkwardly, I'm splitting up my armies. I'm sending one of them north. Very bad timing. I think they're actually raising to come and try and attack me. That was bad timing. I think we'll finish our siege up here. We'll finish some raiding and we'll see what we can do. Our son Eóganacht has come of age. I forget what education we gave him. Looks like we gave him the clerk education. Not great. Not great. He's a 7. We're in desperate need of somebody to take over from... I forget who it is that we actually have as our... Laura, our brother. He's not great. He is a 10. So, because of our low stewardship at the moment, we're below our domain holdings. So, Eóganacht, you could have gotten that job, but no. So Minden is pretty much dependent on our forces for the conquest that it is enacting. We have another raid to conduct. When I say another raid, I mean this is our final one. We're going to send our troops home after this. I think the easiest way to get them back down is to come in this direction. We're hitting a couple of penalties if we try and move them here. Oh, now we have a large enough army coming up to oppose us. Can we outrun them? Can we outrun them? We could take them on. We could fight them. But they have other raiders to deal with, have they? We could just take them on. It looks like they are going to hit us. And we are our first major engagement against Welsh forces. Looks like we're not going to succeed. All our money. We dug too deep. Susanna, not now. Not now, Susanna. Susanna, I married you off to Ukka. Ukka doesn't need this right now. Abandon this foolish endeavour immediately. Absolute disaster. Absolute disaster after disaster after disaster. Our wife has given us a son, Leinshuk. He's all shook up after his mother was bouncing around on a goat at our last feast. May you grow to be strong and wise, my son. They took 39 gold off of us. And we still actually have a larger army than they have, possibly because we just planned it very poorly. And we limp back to Wales having lost everything. We lost just under 100 gold in that attack. Ukka while his wife has been off flirting with us, was the highest kill getter, Diarmid, getting great old numbers. There's Sean. Condligan is after getting himself sick, like I said. Cormac has wandered back into the army. Daemon, I would have expected better. They got some great knights though in 1816. Well, then again, do you know what? We're not. We had more knights than them, and I think we actually have better numbers. But yeah, they just had better forces. They were able to catch us. What a disaster! That's a year. Am I right in saying a year of campaigning? Did we begin this in July of 889, and we return with nothing. We were too overconfident in ourselves. We were too overconfident, and god damn it, we paid the price. I should have stood down all my forces. I can see some of them are still standing there in Wales. I'll stand them down. We'll recover some numbers. I have put Larthon, my wife, back on assisting ruler instead of intrigue, so that penalty to being over the domain limit is gone. But more than likely, I will give out that Welsh holding to somebody at some point in time. Probably, we'll see if we're needed here. We have 1,000 troops at the moment, which means that our allies have, they don't actually have enough to take on whoever it is they decided to attack. And because if we do something, it'll get us the last bit of prestige that we need to get Tanistry in Munster. I'll probably go and help them. At the start of the next episode. So we will land our forces on the continent, and hopefully it'll be better than the last time that we were called into a war. And then we're going to need to come back, and we're going to need to... I don't know what we're going to need to do. We're going to need to raid. We're going to need to get money. We're going to need to improve our holdings. We have suffered a number of setbacks, a number of defeats. It hasn't been a good few years, and again, we are still paying for that brash and hasty execution that was carried out in 883. We are still unfavored by God. We are looking for redemption. Thank you for joining me on this episode. I hope you're enjoying the series. Everyone seems to... there seems to be a bit of a split between whether the subtitle should be just the tip or tip of the morning. I was hoping to get more episodes up on day one. I only managed to get 2 episodes up. I was hoping to get 3 up, but I had some problems with the third one. Episodes, I'm thinking, are going to be coming every Tuesday and Friday. I think that is the schedule I'm going to try and keep for this series. So thank you for joining me. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to be kept up to date with the new episodes. Check out the Discord link in the description, where you'll get updates on when I'm going live on Twitch, and when new stuff comes out on YouTube. Check out the link for the Tip Volume 2 mod. If you have any suggestions, you can send them to Pede Noir there, or like I said, you will find Mandead, same guy, wandering around in the comment section. So thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you again on the next one.